Welcome to Business Startup for Boomers. This is the show that brings you inspiration and ideas to start your own boomer business. Here's your hosts, Larry Aarons and Jeff Williams.
Inspiring is what we do. And welcome to Business Startup for Boomers. I'm Larry Aarons. On the line from BizStarters.com is my colleague Jeff Williams. Jeff, hello. Hello.
Hi, Larry. How are you?
Very, very good. This is all about ideas and, as the man said, inspiration and some practical knowledge if you're looking to be a baby boomer entrepreneur. And why wouldn't you be? This is a great time to start a business. It really is. Today, let's talk a little bit, Jeff, about, you got your business idea. You kind of know the direction you're going, but what's my story? What's my, as they say in the business arena, what's my selling story? And this is really important. Jeff, let's talk about that today in this episode.
Okay, great. Yes, there's one basic reality in the world, and this is true in business, it's true in personal life. Most of us wander around trying to figure out what is in it for me. How am I going to benefit? How am I going to benefit from meeting this new person? How am I going to benefit from driving over to the store? That's the reality of the world. Mm-hmm. You know, we can be caring and we can be giving, but the reality is at the base, we're all thinking about what's in it for me. So the way that an entrepreneur communicates the answer to that question is through what we call the selling story. And the selling story kind of evolves over time. You'll start off with kind of a draft at the beginning of your business, and as you do business and you learn more from the marketplace, you will evolve us a little bit. You might change a few words, you might add some things to it. It doesn't usually radically change over a period of the first year, but it does evolve. And one of the ways to really truncate and do a really short version of your selling story is what we call a slogan. Mm. And I know for BizStarters, our slogan is, our business is helping you start your business. Yeah. So that's a mini selling story.
Right. It's a tagline. It's a
tagline.
Yeah. I like that.
So let's kind of talk about how you put this together. And I'm going to use the website really to kind of illustrate this, because the most common way that selling stories are being communicated today is through a website. You know, 15 years ago, they might have been communicated through a printed brochure that you would mail to someone or leave with someone. And I'm not saying people don't still use brochures. I do sometimes. Mm-hmm. But the primary selling communications vehicle today is the website and then your connected email. And what we're really looking at here is the very first page of your website, known in the nomenclature as your home page. Mm-hmm. It's like the front door to your business. And your selling story starts right below, at the very top of your page. You're going to have your logo and you're going to have some words which are called the navigation commands. That's how people move around your website. But right below that is the main selling part of your page starts. And the key first element to selling story is you need a headline that encapsulates and say no more than 10 words, what is your primary benefit you provide?
Bingo.
In our case, we've learned from experience and research that what our clients, the 50-plussers, are looking for is they want quick and easy business startup. So we say, we will help you turn a good idea into a great business, ... quickly and professionally. That's our headline.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it explains everything, doesn't it?
Right. You have to pretend as if someone comes to your webpage and all they have time to read is your headline. That's it. Will you compel them based solely on that? Because the way this works is the average new visitor to a web page spends less than 15 seconds on the home page. If they don't get a connection to your selling story, or what I would call your benefit story, in other words, how they're going to benefit, they're off that page.
Mm-hmm. They go elsewhere.
They might They might come back, they might not come back. It just depends. They may not even remember where you were, and they can't find you again. So we start with a headline, and what we're trying to do with a headline is one very simple thing. Get them to stay longer than 15 seconds. So then normally you'll have like a subheadline that explains in a little bit more detail. Now in our case, we have a process. We have a product that we use that helps people turn the good idea into the great business. It's called Virtual Incubator Coaching. And we've been doing this for 25 years. There's a series of coaches plus myself. So in my sub-headline right below that big headline, we talk about how our VI coaches have been helping boomers start great businesses for 25 years. That's what we call the credibility statement. It's building credibility. You've got their attention with a headline. Now they're going to say, wait a minute, why should I care about this?
Yeah, why should I listen to you? Right?
Right.
Yeah, and you have to tell them.
That's the credibility statement.
Yeah, you have to tell them.
You have to come right in there and say, here's why we do it. Now, you got to be careful here. You can't make it sound too much like you're patting yourself on the back. And one key I will tell you is don't ever start a headline or subheadline with the word we.
Oh,
always start it with you or something else. Don't talk about you, talk about them.
Very interesting.
And then you can get into the body of the website. On my homepage, there's a picture of me. I introduce myself so I can personalize this whole thing. There's a little audio clip where I actually recorded a greeting to people who come to the page to explain to them, because we've discovered that particularly with the 50-plussers, they really like to make a human connection. No, they don't like to go just buy something remotely off a website with no connection whatsoever. I mean, they'll do it, but they like to have a personal connection. So I don't just talk about what our program does. I say, hi, I'm Jeff Williams. I'm the coach who created all this. I'm the guy who runs this. Here's how we do it. And then I've got a little bit of content that says, if you're like a lot of other boomers, you're wondering, how do I keep working after I leave the corporate world? Well, running your own thing is the perfect way to do it. That's my basic story. At this point, I want to get them off the home page into an interior page where I can describe to them how our benefit works in much more detail.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got several links on the home page in the text that take them to a second page, which is a in-depth description of our Virtual Incubator program. There's a video clip on there that explains the program. It's all referenced on the page. It's got frequently asked questions. That's for the person who's read the headline and the subheadline and maybe looked at my picture and said, this is interesting.
And they want more info. And what this does to me, too, Jeff, it almost self-qualifies these folks who are reading this info. They're now interested, they're more engaged, and they're more likely to make the call with you and find out more information.
No, you're absolutely right. And this is the key to this whole process. There are, quite honestly, for every new business that we've ever worked with, there are thousands of potential customers, many more than the business owner can personally take care of. So the question is, what subgroup of those thousands are you going to try to work with? Because in a lot of businesses, if you handle 100 clients in a year, you're really, really busy.
Yeah.
But, last year, for example, there were 115,000 businesses started by someone over age 55. There's no way that I can possibly deal with even 10% of those people. That would be 1,000 people. I'm looking at dealing with maybe 0.1% or 0.5% of the people. So how do I help decide which ones are the best to go after and not? And it's exactly what you just said, Larry.
Yeah.
I give them enough information to let them select something. And when they select, that tells me something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've pre-qualified themselves to work with you, basically. And that's what you want to put in your business as you form it up. Very interesting idea.
Now, the one last thing I would say about selling story is that you're going to need to be able to communicate it in a number of different ways. There's going to be your home page. You're going to need to be able to write about it in like a press story. But more importantly, you're going to need what's called the elevator pitch.
Yep.
This is a phrase that comes from Silicon Valley, and it originally applied to getting up and making a short pitch to a venture capital company. But it applies to all of us. And what this is 25 words or less What's the problem you solve? How are you better at solving it? And, what's your capability in this area? You need to be able to put that so it flows off your tongue. If you're at a Chamber of Commerce meeting and somebody says to you, and what do you do in your business? That's the elevator pitch.
Can I hear yours? Hi, hey, Jeff, I'm Larry Ahrens. Nice to meet you. What do you do?
We help boomers start fun and profitable businesses.
Oh, really? Well, that's interesting. How do you do that?
We have a step-by-step business coaching process called Virtual Incubator, where we're launching people in 14 to 16 weeks.
Now I'm hooked. See? That's great. And that flows right off your tongue. You say it almost in your sleep, don't you, Jeff?
Let me just say one thing, okay? Because, we're probably going to get a number of people who are going to be listening to this episode who haven't actually gotten into business yet. And they're thinking, oh, my goodness, how do I do this? This is so overwhelming. I will tell you something. I've been in sales for 43 years. And I still, when I'm trying to familiarize myself with a new selling part of my selling story, I write it on a piece of paper and I tape it on the mirror in my bathroom.
Really?
And I look at it every morning and every evening. This doesn't come naturally to me. I mean, to tell you the truth, I used to hate public speaking, but I've learned to be comfortable doing it. And the way I do that is I read the script over and over and over again. I don't memorize all of it. I don't have a good memory to do that. But the way I am comfortable communicating my selling story is because I rehearse it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. You're on stage as an actor, if you will, and you might as well rehearse your lines.
Absolutely.
This is great stuff. Jeff, if anybody wants more info, bizstarters.com. You can find the place on the homepage there where you can book a call with my friend Jeff here, and he will talk to you personally about your idea, your concept, and if the Virtual Incubator coaching program is for you, then, hey, it'll be a great benefit. But you got to find out if it's all a good fit for you first, and that's what Jeff specializes in. Really fascinating to hear about this today. The selling story is really important, and you can figure out your selling story and help yourself become a more profitable business. Fun talking to you today, Jeff.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you very much. Jeff Williams, I'm Larry Ahrens, here on Business Startup for Boomers. Thanks for listening.
This has been Business Startup for Boomers with your hosts Larry Ahrens and Jeff Williams, the show that brings you inspiration and ideas to start your own boomer business. See you next time.